Hi guys, this is SDJRSNF88 speaking with another update on the hotel room micro layout. So since the first update, there's been plenty of progress on the layout, mainly on preparing it ready for the main assembly, so putting everything together. So what I've been doing over the past week is mainly painting and detailing little bits that will be placed onto the layout once the track is down. Now, like Amiens 1918, I plan to inset a lot of the details into the mud, so they need to be painted and prepared before then. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at some of the items that I've been working on this week. So as you can see, I've been working on a real array of items, mainly ammo boxes and crates. You can see these mainly to the left, and we've got a close-up shot now of them. They basically consist of a number of boxes from Pico, WD Models, and a number of other military sort of companies that produce these sort of things for wargaming. And there's a real mixture here. There's a number of different ammo boxes, there's mortar boxes, and there's also a number of Huntley and Palmer biscuit crates. Now, these were crates that were shipped to the front, and they contained the Huntley and Palmer biscuit rations for the troops on the front, so I thought it'd be nice to paint a couple of those up as well. I've also, while I had that paint out, I detailed a number of wooden items such as these trench signs. Now these would be dotted about on the layout in a number of positions. I still have yet to figure out where they will go to, but they do look really, really nice, and the wood paint has really brought out the sort of the wood effect on these little signs. They are made from white metal, so they are quite easy to cut and shape. But at the same time they are quite hard to paint, so I primed them and then painted them with Humbrol pale wood, I believe. We then come on to a number of other metal items that will be adorning the trench. So we got some barbed wire coils, we also have some posts for the barbed wire, some corrugated iron that's a bit rusty, and that will also be piled up as just wasted trench materials. And then we also have some oil barrels. I've done a bit of dry brushing on these. I basically painted them grey and then did a dry brush with a rust effect, so you can see it almost gives them this sort of a bleeding rust effect, and they will also be placed into the trenches as well. We also have been very, very busy with the sandbags, and there's going to be a number of sandbags in the trench, and I believe I've painted about 70 of them. They're still on the sprues currently, but they were painted again with the wood effect, as it's sort of almost like a hessium sort of colour. And then I dry brushed it with the pale stone, and it's really come out with a sort of nice, a shade close to hessium. So I'm really, really pleased with how they've turned out as well. We also have all the artillery shells. As mentioned, the bunkers will have artillery guns hidden in them, and these are again from WD Models. Unlike the shells on Amiens 1918, I'm going for a slightly different colour. I noticed that in a number of pictures there were shells painted either in khaki, olive drab, or in grey, and these are going to be in grey. I've still yet to paint the brass caps on them, but apart from that they have come out quite well. They're again still on the sprue and they need to be cut off. But once they are done, they will be loaded onto the back of four-wheel wagons that will obviously be pushed into the bunkers. They'll also be stacked up alongside the track, and also some of them will be on the trains as well. We also have a number of railway items as well, so I've painted the point levers, the buffer stops, and the two wagon turntables that will be on the layout as well. These are all from the Pico range, and I basically dry brushed them with the wood effect. I'm really pleased with how the wagon turntables have come out, as it does pick out the grain of the wood quite well. So I've also been working on the stonework for the layout. As you can see, I've painted up a number of wheels kits, the first of which is a couple of cobbled sheets. Now, on all of these items, I've used a dry brushing technique. I've started off by painting them with Humbrol red brick as a base coat, and then I've gone over with a medium grey by dry brushing. As you can see, it really does pick out the stonework quite well. So we've got 4 cobble sheets here, and these will be used on a sort of a path outside the bunkers, and of course inside the bunkers as well. And then we also have the Cattle Creek crossing arches, which will be used as the bunker entrances. I've still got to make some doors for these, but the idea is once they are in place, I will then form the tunnel or the bunker behind them, and I hope to add quite a bit of interior detail and lighting behind these as well. So one of the things I've been really concentrating on over the past couple of evenings are the figures. Now these are of course from WD Models, I'll pop a link in the description below, and these are a selection of his American infantry figures. Of course, being set in the Argonne forest, the American infantry played a major role in this battle, and it seemed only natural to get a selection of WD Models American infantry figures to adorn the layout. So as you can see, they've all been painted and assembled, which is very, very time consuming. As I've mentioned countless times with Amiens 1918, the time it took me to do the figures in the little troop train alone really was quite a while, but these have kept me certainly occupied for the past couple of evenings. So as you can see, their uniforms have been painted. I've also painted all the sort of apparatus they're carrying, their rucksacks, their water bottles, rifles, and some of them have even got cigarettes in their hands as well. They've also, you have to attach the heads, so I've attached a number of them with the Brody helmets, which they were supplied with, and also some of the officers' hats as well. So you can see we've got a couple standing at the back here to give you an idea of what they'll look like when they are adorning the layout. I'm really, really pleased with how they've turned out, and hopefully I'll find a nice couple of cameo positions to put these around the trains once the layout is ready. So as mentioned, a number of modifications were needed to be made to the baseboard before I could get started on laying the track work. So as you can see, these modifications have now been made. The first of which is the entrance to the fiddle yard, or what will be the fiddle yard when I get another board. And this was cut on a laser cutter at work, so this end piece was taken in, there was a quick bit of programming done, and the archway was cut. And as you can see, it's got a nice flush bottom with the edge of the baseboard, and it's got 2 little nice curved edges at the top. Of course, all of this will be disguised with trees once the scenery has been put in place. So while the boards were on the laser cutter, we also did a bit of laser cutting on the board down the far right, and this is for 2 indentations into the board to allow the 2 wagon turntables to sit. There's a little sort of lug that sticks out on the bottom of these that allow the turntable bed to turn, and these need to be sort of inset into the baseboard. So I measured out the distance between the 2, and after a quick bit of programming with the staff there, we managed to figure out the correct distance for these holes, and then they were also laser cut as well. And as you can see, the 2 turntable discs slot into them quite nicely. So while the boards were in the office, I also got round to drilling 2 holes for the point rodding mechanism. And while I was doing this, I started thinking about what would be the best form of mechanism to switch these points, to have manual switches like what I have on Amiens 1918, or to maybe go for some point motors. Well, as you all know, the much anticipated Pico Twistlock point motors have been released, and I decided to give them a go on this layout. Now the great thing about the Twistlock point motors is they give you 2 options. You can either have the twist locks fitted, or you can simply just twist and unlock them like so and remove them, and then have them operate manually, and then when you want them back in, They simply clip back into place like so. They really are a handy bit of kit, and I've got to wire them in yet, but they use all the standard point switches that I already have at home on my main layout. So I'm going to acquire a couple of switches off of that and basically wire them up, and hopefully we'll have some operating points when the track is laid. So I guess that's all for this update, and I hope you enjoyed the progress on Argonne Forest, my WW1 trench railway micro layout built in a hotel room. Bit of a tongue twister that, I must admit. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the progress so far. Apologies, it's been mainly sort of painting and doing little bits of detailing stuff, but at the end of the day, it's these little details that really do bring a layout like this to life. And I'm really looking forward to getting it all together. I think it's going to be one of those things which, once all these little details are prepared, the whole layout will sort of all come together in one moment. So it'll be one of those things that sort of appears last minute, if you know what I mean. But I'm really pleased with the progress so far, and I hope you're enjoying it too. So anyway, I guess until next time, this has been SDJR88 speaking, and thanks for watching.